The Democrats blew it. Pundits are admitting that this was a total waste of time, as more senators are confirming there is no chance President Trump gets convicted. In this video, we're going to take a look at precisely why the Democrats so miserably failed in their impeachment fiasco, why more and more senators are coming out and saying that this Democrat embarrassment is all but done, and how the ratings for the impeachment trial prove that the vast majority of Americans think this is nothing more than a pathetic joke, and one that wasn't even remotely funny. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. We're here to give you each and every day conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent times, helping you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We would love to have you as a regular part of this channel. For you Rumble fans out there, make sure to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on the link below. And for you podcast fans, make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms. We are now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary. And with your help, we're going to make it to #1. But first, let's give you a shout out to the sponsor of this video. And that's collagen, available at my special website, healthwithsteveturley.com. If you don't know, many health experts now agree that consuming collagen helps to renew and revitalize how you look and how you feel. Taking collagen regularly can revitalize your body. It can make your skin, your bones, even your hair feel and look more healthy and youthful. And if you click on that link below right now, you can get up to 51% off your order. So do not wait. Click on that link below. Get your own collagen supply today. You'll be glad that you did. All right, gang. Let's dive right in here. The Democrats blew it. I mean, let's just say it. That's the assessment of more and more pundits. The Democrats, with all of their bluster entering into this impeachment trial, with all of the 24/7 cultural Marxist media behind them, cheering on every move, their every obnoxious comment, with all the fanfare and bragging and boasting, the Democrats have officially flopped, and their impeachment case has imploded. Let's start with the one and only Alan Dershowitz. He was on Newsmax just after the Democrats wrapped up their case yesterday, and he said it bluntly, quote, "Today, the Democrats really blew it. Maybe now they'll regain their strength, but up to now, today was a complete waste of time." Dershowitz is hardly alone. My namesake, Jonathan Turley, legal professor at George Washington University, just said the other day that the Democrats' impeachment case was doomed from the start, never had a chance at being successfully prosecuted, precisely because of two things. First and foremost, the Democrats, in Turley's words, dug a pretty deep hole in adopting the article of impeachment, charging Trump with intentionally seeking to incite an insurrection. Now, that's a tough case to prove. Note, the impeachment article was not that Trump's a jerk or Trump was reckless or he's an awful person or he made a speech that could be interpreted as a call to arms. No, the impeachment article charges President Trump with deliberately seeking to incite an insurrection. So that's a pretty deep hole to fill, which obviously, I mean, you know, we're no legal scholars here, but it's rather obvious. It would seem to be common sense that if you're making a charge like that, you better bring the receipts. You better have some pretty powerful proof, some pretty impressive evidence. And as it turns out, that's the second Achilles heel of this whole prosecution. The Democrats don't. In fact, they haven't presented a shred of hard evidence that President Trump intentionally sought to ignite an insurrection. They don't have a shred of actual hard evidence. In an article we published yesterday, Jonathan Turley cited the example we played for you on yesterday's video. It was hilarious. It was the moment that the impeachment managers, right, the Democrats prosecuting the case against Trump, it was the moment they claimed that on January 6th, while the riots had started to break out, Trump called Senator Mike Lee in the Capitol, mistakenly believing he was talking to Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville was right next to Senator Lee, and so Lee handed Tuberville the phone. And according to the Democrat manager prosecuting Trump, Mike Lee claimed that he heard President Trump pressuring Tuberville to make further objections to Biden's electors as Senator Lee was just standing by and listening. In other words, Senator Lee had supposedly admitted to the media that President Trump was trying to actively pressure members of the Senate to disrupt the proceedings. Senator Lee immediately stood up on the Senate floor and declared unequivocally that that accusation was a complete lie. He had never made such a claim. And so what the Democrat prosecutor had to do, he had to admit that Senator Lee's comments that were presented as evidence did not in fact come from Senator Lee. He had to admit that it came from a news report citing an anonymous source. And so this Democrat, Jamie Raskin, this Democrat prosecutor had to admit himself that they were going to withdraw the submitted evidence on the grounds, and these are his words, on the grounds that it was not true. We're withdrawing what I just said because it's not true. Senator Lee was livid. He was like, dude, I'm right here. You could have asked me directly if I ever claimed that or said that. And instead, you gave us an unnamed source from a news report. And you submitted that as evidence, even though I'm sitting right here. And gang, according to Professor Turley, that's precisely the Achilles heel of this entire proceeding. This is what makes this all such a waste of time. Instead of putting together an actual case with actual evidence, the Democrats have decided to try this case of accused incitement of insurrection based entirely on circumstantial evidence and using media reports rather than actual eyewitness testimony. It's a trial, in Jonathan Turley's words, it's a trial by innuendo and implication rather than direct evidence of what Trump knew and intended on January 6th. And again, Turley writes, quote, Trump was not impeached for negligence. He was impeached for inciting an actual insurrection or rebellion against the United States. Yet the House seems not only uninterested, but also willfully blind to the existence of witnesses who could supply that evidence. And so it's no coincidence that senators like Ted Cruz of Texas is coming out and saying rather bluntly, there is zero chance that Trump is going to be convicted here. Zero. Now, again, that's not me saying this, okay? I'm just the messenger. That's a United States senator saying this. We've already seen this with Rand Paul's declaration a couple of weeks back, that this impeachment is dead on arrival at the Senate. Democrats, not only are they pursuing a totally unconstitutional impeachment, but to add insult to injury, they're doing it very badly. At the very least, they could be presenting a half-decent case. But when there are no direct eyewitnesses who can testify to President Trump's intentions on January 6th, the entire impeachment article, remember, is rooted precisely in President Trump's intentions, his intentional attempt to start an insurrection. I mean, we could just circle back to Alan Dershowitz and conclude nothing less that this was a total waste of time, a total waste of time and money brought to you yet again by the Democrat Party. And you know who else thinks this was a big waste of time? The American viewer. The ratings are in, and you're going to love the results. But before we get into that, if you're looking for an encouraging and hopeful alternative to all the fake news that's being spewed out there on a daily basis from the likes of CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times, you're going to find no better antidote than what's in the pages of my book, The Return of Christendom. Do not take my word for it. Just read through all the reviews on Amazon. There's over 260 of them. And you'll see how this book cuts through all the cynicism and despair that we so often feel living in this crazy globalist world. But in page after page, I give you all the data and statistics and indicators that show nothing less than a new conservative Christian majority emerging throughout the United States and Europe, and it's already transforming the world map into a more nationalist, populist, and traditionalist world. If you click on that link below, we're offering it for you today at a limited time at a 50% discount. That's right, 50% off. So don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Click on that link. Get your book at a super discount today and arm yourself with the information you need to crush fake news once and for all. All right. Look at this from CNN. Freaking CNN, man. Those empty seats in the Senate chamber on Thursday, they're emblematic of the public's reaction to the second Trump impeachment trial. If you've been glued to every minute of the trial, or even just half watching the proceedings, then you're part of a special club. You're learning the full story, the crimes that were committed at the Capitol on January 6th. But you are much more plugged in than the average American adult. And Nielsen TV ratings for the first 2 days of trial coverage show that only a sliver of the public is watching at any given time. The bottom line, news junkies are gripped by the emotional presentations, but a vast swath of the nation is not. And of course not! They know it's a waste of time. The latest Rasmussen polls, unequivocal on this. Only 11% of likely voters think it is very likely the Senate will convict Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors. Over 60% either think that conviction is not very likely or not likely at all. Only 15% of voters said that they would watch the entire Senate impeachment trial on TV. 62% they would watch only some or none of it at all. It's simple. When all is said and done, these proceedings are a waste of time because the Democrats are a waste of time. They put on a big kabuki theater production, and in the end, no one showed up to watch it. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. You definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded. You're going to love this. This is fascinating. It's on how France has officially denounced the out-of-control woke leftism here in the United States as Mark Cuban gets owned by his own national anthem band. You're not going to want to miss this. It's too good. It's a lesson in getting woke. You'll always go broke. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.